In the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, surviving 71 degrees C requires clothing that is far beyond ordinary winter wear. For the nomads who live here, clothing is not a fashion statement. It is a sophisticated survival system, meticulously designed to protect the body from one of the harshest climates on Earth. Every layer serves a specific purpose, working together to trap heat, block wind, and prevent frostbite. The foundation of this system is a base layer made from materials that insulate while wicking moisture away from the skin. Wool, silk, or advanced synthetic fabrics are commonly used because even a small amount of sweat can dramatically increase heat loss in these extreme conditions. The base layer must fit snugly against the skin to maximize warmth and efficiency, ensuring that the body's core temperature remains stable during long periods outdoors. Over this base, multiple insulating layers are worn, often made from thick wool, fleece, or layered animal hides. These layers trap air, which acts as natural insulation, and cover vital areas such as the chest, back, and limbs. Each additional layer is strategically placed to protect the body while allowing enough mobility for daily activities, which often include chopping firewood, feeding animals, or traveling across uneven frozen terrain. The outermost layer is a windproof and heavily insulated coat, frequently lined with fur or thick down, designed to shield the body from the relentless Arctic winds. Hoods, scarves, and balaclavas are crucial for protecting the head, neck, and face, while insulated mittens and gloves safeguard the hands, which are particularly vulnerable to frostbite. Feet receive special attention because walking on snow and ice for extended periods exposes them to extreme cold. Thick wool socks, sometimes layered with fur inserts, are combined with waterproof, insulated boots to maintain warmth and dryness. Even small errors, like a gap between boot and pant cuff, can allow cold air in and cause rapid heat loss. Nomads carefully adjust their clothing before venturing outside, ensuring that no skin is exposed and that layers are secure. Every detail, from tucking scarves into coats to layering mittens over sleeves, is practiced and perfected through experience, because in this environment, a single oversight can have severe consequences. The clothing system is also dynamic. Nomads constantly adjust layers depending on activity level and weather conditions. Physical exertion generates heat, but sweating can quickly chill the body once movement slows. Wind and temperature shifts require quick adaptation, adding another layer of complexity to what might seem like a simple task. Dressing. Maintenance is equally critical. Furs and hides must remain dry and in good condition. Parkas are repaired immediately if damaged, and boots are inspected daily. In this extreme climate, even a small failure in clothing can be life-threatening, making preparation, vigilance, and knowledge indispensable. Clothing for nomads in Yakutia is the first line of defense against an unforgiving environment. It represents a combination of traditional knowledge, practical experience, and precise engineering, all aimed at preserving life in temperatures that would paralyze an unprepared human being. Layer by layer, garment by garment, these extreme survival systems allow nomads not only to endure the cold, but to continue their daily lives, demonstrating the incredible adaptability and resilience of humans. In one of the most extreme environments on Earth, life for nomads in the Arctic tundra of Yakutia is a constant battle against the cold, and daily routines are carefully structured to ensure survival in temperatures that can plummet to 71 degrees C. Each day begins with essential survival tasks, and nothing is left to chance. Even seemingly simple activities, like preparing food or gathering water, require precise planning and execution. Water is not readily available, as rivers and lakes are frozen solid, so nomads must melt ice or snow over fire to create drinking water. This process is time-consuming and must be performed with caution, as exposure to the frigid air can quickly sap body heat. Every step of the process, from breaking the ice to melting and transferring it into containers, is performed with care to conserve warmth and prevent spills that could freeze instantly. Food preparation is equally demanding. Meat, often preserved through freezing, must be thawed carefully over controlled heat to prevent loss while maintaining warmth inside shelters. Meals are cooked using minimal firewood to conserve fuel, and the process often occurs in small, insulated spaces to maximize heat efficiency. Nomads prioritize calorie-denser foods, recognizing that maintaining energy is essential to survive the extreme cold. The preparation and consumption of food become more than routine. They are critical strategies for sustaining body heat, strength, and endurance throughout the day. Gathering and managing firewood is another crucial daily task. Wood is the lifeline of warmth and survival, and collecting it requires venturing outside into the Arctic landscape, where the wind chill can be deadly within minutes. Nomads carefully balance speed and safety, ensuring they complete the task efficiently while minimizing exposure. Wood must be chopped, carried and stacked in sheltered areas to keep it dry and ready for immediate use. A lapse in this routine could result in the fire dying out, which in such temperatures would be catastrophic. Tending to animals, whether sled dogs or reindeer, is also part of the daily rhythm. These animals provide transportation, food, and companionship, but caring for them in extreme cold is challenging. Nomads ensure that animals have adequate shelter, warmth, and nourishment, all while protecting themselves from the freezing environment. Every interaction with the animals is timed to minimize exposure, yet it must be done consistently to maintain their survival and well-being. The extreme isolation of the tundra adds a psychological layer to daily life. Nomads live far from other people, and mental resilience is as vital as physical skill. Each task, from cooking to chopping wood, requires focus and awareness, as mistakes in such harsh conditions can have immediate consequences. Over time, these routines cultivate discipline, patience, and a deep understanding of the environment. Survival depends on knowing when to act, how to conserve energy, and how to read subtle cues in the landscape, such as wind direction, ice thickness, or snow stability. For nomads, daily life in the Arctic is a delicate balance between necessity and caution. Every chore, every movement, and every decision is influenced by the extreme environment. It is a life of endurance, strategy, and adaptability, where survival is a constant priority, and the ability to execute daily tasks efficiently can mean the difference between life and death. In the tundra, routine is survival, and survival is mastered through careful, deliberate action every single day. In the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, shelter and fire are the foundations of survival, forming the lifelines that allow nomads to endure temperatures as low as 71 degrees C. Life in this extreme environment depends on having a secure, insulated space that protects against the relentless wind, frost, and blizzards. Nomads traditionally live in small huts or portable tents, carefully constructed and reinforced to withstand the Arctic's brutality. These structures are designed to trap heat efficiently, often incorporating layers of animal hides, furs, and modern insulating materials that prevent the deadly cold from seeping inside. The entrances are narrow and strategically positioned to minimize heat loss, while windows are either small or double-layered to retain warmth. The design of these shelters reflects generations of accumulated knowledge, a combination of traditional practices and practical adaptation to one of the harshest climates on Earth. Fire is the heart of every shelter, and maintaining it is a skill that requires constant attention and expertise. In such extreme cold, fire is not merely a comfort, it is essential for survival. It provides heat to maintain body temperature, melts ice and snow for drinking water, and cooks food, ensuring the energy necessary to endure the Arctic day. A fire must be carefully tended at all times. Logs or other fuel are prepped and stored in dry, accessible locations, as damp wood will fail to ignite efficiently. The arrangement of the fire within the shelter is also critical, positioned to maximize warmth while reducing the risk of accidental fires that could destroy the home. Smoke vents are managed carefully to maintain air quality, allowing combustion without letting the heat escape. Inside the shelter, the environment is meticulously managed to create a microclimate that supports both physical and psychological endurance. Floors are insulated with furs and hides to prevent contact with freezing surfaces, and sleeping areas are arranged to capture and retain body heat. Nomads maintain constant vigilance over the condition of their shelters. Snow accumulation on roofs and walls is regularly cleared, and insulation is checked and reinforced as needed. Even a small breach can compromise warmth and turn a minor problem into a life-threatening situation. Every part of the shelter is used strategically. Storage areas for food, clothing, and firewood are placed near heat sources, while sleeping and cooking areas are carefully separated to maximize safety and efficiency. The psychological impact of shelter and fire cannot be overstated. In isolation, surrounded by an endless frozen landscape, these shelters provide a sense of security and stability. They become a space where daily routines can be performed safely, and where mental focus can be maintained. The warmth of the fire and the protection of insulated walls offer comfort, creating a controlled environment amidst the unpredictability and danger of the tundra. Ultimately, for nomads in Yakutia, shelter and fire are far more than basic necessities. They are the core of survival strategy. They enable life to continue despite the Arctic's extremes, providing warmth, safety, and a controlled space to carry out essential daily tasks. In this environment, mastering the art of building, maintaining, and utilizing shelter and fire is not optional. It is the difference between life and death, representing centuries of adaptation, skill, and human ingenuity in one of the coldest places on Earth. Traveling across the Arctic tundra in Yakutia is a challenge unlike any other, and for nomads surviving 71 degrees C, movement is both necessary and dangerous. The frozen landscape stretches endlessly, covered in snow and ice, with sudden drifts, frozen rivers, and patches of thin ice that can conceal hidden hazards. Even a short journey can become life-threatening without careful planning, knowledge, and skill. Nomads must constantly assess their surroundings, understanding how to navigate the harsh terrain safely while minimizing exposure to the extreme cold. Every step is deliberate, every route carefully chosen, because a single mistake can result in frostbite, hypothermia, or even death. Nomads rely on generations of accumulated knowledge to move safely across the tundra. They know which areas of snow are stable enough to walk on, which frozen rivers can support weight, and how to recognize the subtle signs of hidden dangers beneath the snow. Wind patterns, snowdrifts, and temperature changes are all critical factors in navigation. Even when traveling familiar routes, vigilance is required. The landscape is unpredictable, and what may be safe one day can become treacherous the next. Nomads use both visual cues and tactile experience, testing ice thickness with poles, observing snow textures, and judging wind effects to ensure each journey is as safe as possible. Transportation methods are adapted to the extreme cold. Sleds, often pulled by reindeer or dogs, allow nomads to move heavier loads of supplies or food efficiently across the tundra. Sled dogs are trained to endure the freezing temperatures, their fur and stamina perfectly suited to the environment. Managing a sled team requires skill, patience, and constant attention to the condition of both the dogs and the terrain. Even walking or snowshoeing demands careful preparation, including appropriate footwear, layered clothing, and the ability to adjust movement based on ice, snow, and wind conditions. Weather is a constant variable that shapes every movement. Sudden storms can reduce visibility to near zero, with wind chills that make even a few minutes outdoors deadly. Nomads must constantly monitor the sky, wind, and snow conditions to determine when it is safe to travel. Routes are often chosen not just for distance, but for protection against prevailing winds, natural barriers, and access to landmarks that help maintain orientation in the otherwise featureless tundra. Knowledge of these natural signs is passed down through generations and is essential for survival. Psychological resilience is just as critical as physical skill in navigating the Arctic. Isolation and exposure to extreme conditions can be mentally exhausting, and maintaining focus is essential. Nomads develop the ability to stay calm under stress, make decisions quickly, and adapt to changing conditions without panicking. Every trip across the tundra reinforces these skills, building confidence and competence in an environment where errors can be fatal. Traveling in the Arctic tundra is therefore far more than a means of moving from one place to another. It is a daily exercise in observation, skill, and survival, demanding knowledge, adaptability, and endurance. For nomads in Yakutia, every journey across the frozen landscape is a calculated endeavor, a demonstration of human resilience, and a testament to the extraordinary ability to navigate and survive in one of the coldest, most unforgiving places on Earth. Living and surviving in the Arctic tundra of Yakutia demands not only physical endurance, but also extraordinary mental resilience, particularly for nomads who face temperatures as low as 71 degrees C and spend much of their time in isolation. Life in such extreme conditions places continuous psychological pressure on individuals, as every day involves challenges that most people could hardly imagine. The harsh environment can be mentally taxing, and maintaining focus, calm, and determination is critical for survival. Nomads learn from an early age that endurance is as much a mental skill as a physical one, and that the ability to adapt psychologically to the relentless cold is essential. Isolation is a defining factor in their lives. Many nomads live far from other people, with only their animals or a few family members for company. The vast frozen landscape can feel endless and oppressive, particularly during the long Arctic winter when daylight is scarce. This solitude requires mental strength to manage fear, boredom, and the psychological strain of knowing that help is often far away. Nomads develop routines that provide structure and purpose, from tending animals and gathering firewood to preparing meals and maintaining their shelters. These daily rituals create a sense of control and stability in an otherwise unpredictable environment, allowing them to focus on survival while managing the mental stress of isolation. Community and shared knowledge play a critical role in fostering resilience. Even though nomads may spend long periods alone, their culture emphasizes learning from elders and peers, observing and practicing traditional survival techniques that have been refined over generations. This knowledge provides a psychological safety net, as individuals can rely on tested methods for navigating the cold, managing shelter and fire, and tending animals. Knowing that these strategies have allowed others to survive for centuries instills confidence and reduces anxiety, reinforcing the belief that survival is achievable even under extreme conditions. Adaptability is another cornerstone of mental resilience. The Arctic environment is unpredictable, and nomads must respond to sudden changes in weather, shifting snow, or the condition of ice and rivers. Each situation requires quick thinking, problem solving, and the ability to remain calm under pressure. Mistakes can be costly, even fatal, so mental alertness and strategic decision-making are continually exercised. Over time, living in this environment cultivates extraordinary focus, patience, and the ability to anticipate risks before they become immediate threats. Psychological resilience is also reinforced by the close relationship between humans and animals. Reindeer, sled dogs, and other animals are not only essential for transportation, food, and survival, but they also provide companionship and emotional support. Caring for these animals teaches responsibility, empathy, and a sense of purpose, which help nomads endure both the physical and mental challenges of life in the tundra. Ultimately, the life of nomads in Yakutia demonstrates that surviving 1,000 degrees C is as much a test of the mind as of the body. Mental resilience, adaptability, and the ability to maintain focus in isolation are essential for thriving in one of the coldest places on Earth. This psychological strength, combined with traditional knowledge and community support, allows nomads to not only endure, but to live fully in an environment that would overwhelm most humans, showcasing the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit in extreme conditions.